Hey everyone, this is Luminous coming to you guys with a pro Dota commentary. This commentary is affiliated with DC, and for more commentary and content, check us out on DotaCommentaries.com. Today I have a very special guest. Alongside with me is Nebula, or Nebuone, or Nebula, whatever the incarnation of that name. Nebula, give everyone a quick introduction before we get into this game.
I think it's actually pronounced Nebu2A. I'm not sure. I'll have to check in with that. I think it might be Chinese. I have a little bit of problem with those words sometimes. As anybody who has seen any of my videos will know, my reading is not very good. I don't read so well, that's what I'm saying.
And I think if anyone has seen any one of Nebula's video, we would also realize that he doesn't play a good line. But let's get into the game. God versus DTS in I believe, is this Farm for Fame? No, this is Gosu Cup, Rokat Gosu Cup, no, and I believe this is game 2.
I believe it's called Rokat Gosu Cup number 3, group stage A2 round 1, brought to you by Tacos, Enchiladas, and Burritos, because they want the game to be as long as possible.
It is always good to get the correct name, I think. And okay, the picks and bans. It's right before you. We're not going to just spend too much time going through a pick and ban analysis because it's a Nebula Luminous commentary. We don't actually talk about the game anyways, so there's really no point.
Oh, but, there's a Huskar.
Here's the picks and bans. There's a Huskar. That's why I actually claimed this game. I want to see what a Huskar is capable of doing. And I mean, the hero picks looks pretty legit. There's a Spectre on the other end. So we expect this game, if it goes late, then Scourge should have it. If it doesn't, Sentinel should. I mean, yeah. Anything else to add to that before we just unpause and kind of just?
Yeah, I will say I like Scourge's late game better, but I mean that doesn't mean a whole lot, because Razor and Potom are capable, if they get a lot more farm than Spectre and Shadow Fiend, of still winning. But yeah, I think my money would also be on Scourge. Do you have a vacuum cleaner going on?
I do have a blender in the background. It's smashing my tower, but I have a towel under it, covering it, so...
Why don't you stop making margaritas during a freaking recording? Alright, ready to unpause?
Okay, well, I'll turn on my computer. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, you ready to unpause?
Yes.
Okay, let's unpause, or unpause in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so one thing I want to point out about the Scourge pick is that they will have a Clockwork solo. So most likely we're going to have a Windrunner support, which, I mean, this only adds to the versatility as Windrunner as a hero. Generally, we don't see her going to support, or maybe she's not going to support. We'll see. I mean, but it looks like it. It sure does.
I would guess that they're going to Windrunner support. I mean, they have to have Shadow Fiend in middle. Like, that's just kind of not even another option. And Spectre desperately needs the farm top, so putting a Clockwork up there, yeah, it looks like Windrunner is in fact going to go top.
Yeah,
I think Windrunner is going to be better with not a whole lot of farm. Like, Windrunner as a hero is still quite effective, even if she doesn't have a whole lot of farm. Whereas Clockwork, I mean, he still needs levels to really do anything.
It looks like they're going to do a Huskar solo mid. His starting item choice is pretty standard. It looks like he's going to go for Earn first, or Earn eventually. And he's going to go match up against a Shadow Fiend. And Huskar, not sure if you guys know, is probably the most deadly, or at least the most annoying hero at level 1. His Burning Spear is, well, maybe not compared to a Bat Rider, but at the very least, like, he shit outlane Shadow Fiend mid.
No, I think at level 1 he's deadlier than Bat Rider. Bat Rider's really deadly at level 2. Because, all through level 1 you stack everything up, and then at level 2 you get your flying burn thing. What's the name of that thing called? I can't remember.
Firefly?
Firefly, yes. You get Firefly, and then you run in there and just beat the shit out of him. Whereas Huskar can actually just kill you at level 1 with a bunch of Burning Spears. So,
yeah.
I would say Huskar...
Looks like we're going to have a...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Just get used to it. We're going to talk over each other.
I know, you're supposed to just keep going, right? Isn't that how it works? Like, are we just supposed to keep talking? We have two people talking
I think we haven't casted a game for a long time.
I mean, these motherfuckers have 2 ears. They can hear both things, right? I mean, come on. That's why you have 2 people commentating. You like, put one of us in one ear and the other one. We should split this into 2 audio styles. Anyway.
As expected, mid lane here, Shadow Fiend can't even go near to hit the creeps because, motherfucking Burning Spear is just going to keep him back.
Look at that.
And I'm not too sure how Shadow Fiend could come back from this. He really needs a gank, or he has to wait to at least level 2 or 3.
Look at that.
Yeah, looks like Vengeful has forced to go mid.
Yeah, I think
so that is going to weaken the top lane.
They had Venge relatively close. I think they were kind of looking to do that. They understood that if Huskar was middle, Shadow Fiend was going to have serious problems, and they knew that. Oh, look at that. Did you see that kill? Because I didn't see it.
No, I didn't. I'm sure you didn't either.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, yeah, it's standard. I mean,
God damn, you gotta keep talking when I start saying something. Just don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's been too
Yeah,
long.
so yeah, as I was saying earlier, because the Avenger has been forced to go mid, top, as expected, the first blood was there. It looks like these two support is going to roam to mid with that advantage. It's going to try to pick off the Shadow Fiend. I don't think that's going to be possible because at the mid lane it's going to be really hard to gank people anyways. But with that Vengeful Spirit, Shadow Fiend has got quite a bit of last hits, and that should give him the lane. You will see the Venge being able to roam off pretty soon now. Like, I think Shadow Fiend, after he gets a couple of hits, should be okay. No, but Burning Spear is going to go around 2 stacks, 3 stacks on the Burning Spear. You can see that Shadow Fiend's HP is steadily dropping, but unfortunately he is going to stay alive, or at least unfortunately for God. I haven't watched too many games for God, but I know you have cast a couple of God. Any tendency to look for, anything that we could expect from them? Or just not really?
The only real tendency you'll know is that they are, in fact, not gods of Dota. That name is quite misleading.
Okay, that's good to know.
That said, they are a pretty decent team. I will say Shadow Fiend only has 2 creep kills still, so he actually didn't pick up a ton during that. He finally manages to get his 3rd. Meanwhile, there is giant battle happening top. Unfortunately for him, Razor allows a Windrunner to get away with 15 HP, so that's no good.
Yeah, looking back in the mid lane, actually the Shadow Fiend player, his name is also God. He's actually wearing a G tag, so it's gonna be, it's God versus God. Who's gonna win? I don't know, but I think.
Well, it's God versus gods, right? Vengeful with the region. Unfortunately, Burning Spear owns that and is probably going to own her as well. One more. Oh, she salves up. You can salve up during Burning Spear. Whoa!
Yeah, I thought you shouldn't be able to do so, and you can see that with the combination of his Berserker Blood and Burning Spear, he's just basically walking over people. But fortunately, they are allowing Shadow Fiend to farm. Meanwhile, Windrunner being chased away by the 2 supports on the top lane. So I think relatively for all lanes, it's been going pretty well for Gods of Dota. Bot lane, the bottom is controlling the lane pretty well against the Clockwork as well. So I think Gods of Dota is pulling some face right now, which is kind of what you're not expecting. At least not against DTS, one of, I guess, a premier powerhouse in Europe. I
will say that kill on Vengeful is kind of like bittersweet. Because, yeah, he ran out the lane and got a kill on Vengeful, but in that time, he allowed Nevermore to pick up an extra 18 damage, which is, going to be super irrelevant. Like, the gold on the Huskar, I don't think is actually going to be as relevant as Shadow Fiend just getting a bunch of extra damage. Like, see, now he can lane effectively at the same time.
Although he did get some boots of speed, so that is pretty dangerous as we see the 2 roaming coming to mid lane. But there's a good placement of Observe Ward. They a good prediction coming from Scourge. They know that the roaming is going to come from the Shaker. It looks like these 2 supports are probably going to waste a long time. The Scourge heroes do know that there's 2 Sentinels coming, and they're actually backing off to the right side. That is the correct way to play it. So it's mostly that ward paying off, really.
Yeah, NS did a really good job of placing a ward on the bottom river and the top river in the 2 situations where Shadow Fiend could really get raped in the back. They're focusing a lot of their effort right now on Shadow Fiend winning this middle lane against Huskar. And as, justly so, because this is easily the most important lane up here. Spectre, obviously Spectre's hyper-relevant later, but for their mid-game strategy of allowing Spectre to farm enough, they're really going to need that Shadow Fiend to be pretty well farmed. And it seems like everything's kind of going according to plan. They're doing an okay job here. There is a haste rune on the Huskar.
Haste rune on the Huskar, and they are going to just backstab. Let's see what they're going to go for. I think Spectre's
a
better
choice.
They are going to go
Spectre's
for Spectre.
The obvious target.
Yeah, Spectre is going to go down for sure. Which I will well, they're going to get a kill on the
yeah, they're going to be able to kill him
as well. Very easy to kill. It's 4-0 in the favor of Sentinel. But I'm actually going to disagree a little bit against you're saying that DTS is putting a lot of focus on the Shadow Fiend, which I think, well, isn't Shadow Fiend a hero that, could basically find farm regardless of how bad he's seeing? Whereas thinking maybe they should focus a little bit more on the Spectre, because if your Spectre is shit early game, he's pretty much going to be just shit the whole game, whereas Shadow Fiend could kind of get his way back in the game. What do you think of that?
Well, the thing is that, the Shadow Fiend having a well done early game, like having his bottle, getting an early BKB or an early dagger, is going to give them so much more map dominance that it's going to allow Spectre to farm a lot more. Because even if Spectre fails in the first 5 levels, if he gets free farm through all of the mid game, he's still going to be hyper effective late. Like, the later the game goes with any kind of farm, Spectre's still going to win. So I think what they're doing is they're giving their team the ability to allow Spectre to farm.
That is a very roundabout logic, but I do kind of agree to a certain extent.
Well, that's just my opinion on that. I personally think that Shadow Fiend being farmed is going to allow their team so much more power that, even if they still even if they kill Shadow Fiend in all of those battles, he's going to dominate them so much more that it's going to allow Spectre to farm well. We see a
very good counter
sweet
gank.
Stun by Evil is near there,
and it looks like good blocking.
Oh,
pretty
unfortunately.
good. And looks like Spectre should be going down.
He
There
just
is a
now
cooldown on
has
the
another
Fissure.
He's got 145 mana. He should be able to cast one, right?
Not too sure why he's not chasing. Well, whatever. But that thing you saw. One thing I was very interesting to point out is that Spectre got a level of Desolate and also a level of Dispersion. Usually, you see players actually stacking, or choosing one and then just leveling that up. So it's a very interesting item build. It did pay off in the fact that I did a couple more damage against the Razor, but it didn't net them myself a kill.
Yeah, I would.
And you didn't.
I would almost always just go crap. I would almost always go the damage one. God damn it, not Dispersion. What's the other one called? You just
Desolate.
Desolate, yeah. I would almost always go Desolate just because at level 6 it's going to allow you to get so many extra kills that you normally wouldn't get. That, like, Spectre really wants those kills mid-game. Whereas, like, Dispersion's much more effective when you're having big team battles and stuff. So...
I think also knowledge of Dota's skill name is a correlation of how good you're actually at Dota.
Yeah, okay.
So in that essence...
I will say... just because my brain is, like, fried and I can't remember every name off the top of my head. I know them all. Put a gun to my head and I could probably remember every single one. But two in one cast, that's pretty successful.
One thing about the Dispersion is that
Pink
actually
middle?
reduce the damage you're taking.
Yeah,
well, it doesn't matter. I think it's... Oh, whoa.
No,
actually, he's blocked off Huskar, so yeah, it does matter.
Stun.
Yeah. Okay, anyways. And didn't you do a Earthshaker analysis somewhere
I did.
before?
I don't know who this guy is.
Top lane?
Who is this? He is clearly not... He is clearly not Puppy. Dispersion is not going to save you from Razor.
Razor getting a double kill, and the phase bleed, very interesting choice. I actually would just go for strength treads.
Me as well. You desperately need HP on Razor. I mean, phase boots is cute and all. It allows you to chase better with your ulti, and it gives you a little bit of damage, but let's be real. Razor's going to get plenty of damage from his static cling, and you get enough of a move speed buff that you're just kind of like putting into areas that Razor's already kind of okay at. And I understand the concept of like, well, let's make the things we're good at better, but you desperately just really need HP and survivability on Razor. Because if you make it through a battle, like you're going to do so much that that's all you need to do, right?
Yeah. Although there is there is a Battery Assault and the Dispersion, or the dagger from the Scourge. So there is some pretty potent soul.
Okay, yeah,
Scourge,
Battery
so
Assault.
Oh my god! Wow, did you just see that fissure? Okay.
No, I didn't.
Not sure if we saw it. Okay, good. It will give you Nightmare.
Did it hit anything?
It just didn't hit. It just didn't hit. Okay.
Dota Daily episode number 3, please. Earthshaker go boom.
And actually, people don't know what Dota Daily is, so maybe you could give.
Oh yeah, all of you Luminous YouTube viewers, I would beg you, please go to DotaCommentaries.com. We have a massive amount of content posted by Luminous and I and Ian James Barnett and Jack and various other commentators. A lot of stuff that Luminous does is not actually posted on his website, such as the DC Talks, or rather on his YouTube, such as the DC Talks, where he... Were you in the DC Talk with... Yeah, you were in the DC Talk with Mania and Pusher.
Pusher.
And I do not believe that was on your YouTube account, so all of you people who know who Mania and Pusher are and would like to see an interview or listen to an interview between Luminous and them, you should totally check that out. It's all on DotaCommentaries.com. As well as I do put out daily Dota videos called the Dota Dailies. Meanwhile, there's a battle mill. Huskar, able to survive amazingly? No way, surely not.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why Shadowfiend canceled a raise on that. That would have killed the Huskar. Huskar very low HP, but that is where he's the most dangerous. The lower HP he is, the more damage. It looks like the Shaker is going to be chasing around. He has another Fissure, casts it. Pot him backstab, gets a double kill. It's 9-1 as we're talking about DotaCommentaries.com. It's 9-1 in favor of Sentinel.
Sexy
and DTS
Bambo
is just
with a sexy double kill.
Yeah, getting stomped upon.
As I said,
okay, back to DotaCommentaries.com.
A brilliant team.
They are gods of Dota. I don't know what you're shitting me.
Well, I was going to say, I do put out daily content at the DotaDailies.com. Every day I do either a video of just a game, a replay analysis, or of a particular hero. So say, for instance, you suck with Draw Ranger, I got a video just for you. If you suck with Earthshaker, I do recommend that this, what is his name here? He's somewhere on this one. I do recommend that Evil is Near watches Dota Daily Episode 3 all about the Earthshaker and how to properly place stuns. Meanwhile, Vengeful's going to try and come up behind the Spectre or Razor here. How
to hit a goddamn big-ass AoE nuke that you
can AKA how to hit a nuke that is impossible to miss. Oh!
Vengeful's Spear just goes down. And okay, well at the very least they did pick off the Razor. I mean that's pretty much what they needed. Bottom leaps, he misses the arrow, but I think he's leaped. He does have he does have treads. Meanwhile, only boots on the Spectre. Spectre is gonna go down to the continuous chasing power of the bottom. Looks like Windrunner is gonna try to come around. Clockwork's in the middle of thing as well, but I think Clockwork is gonna die. Not before she kills the Crystal Maiden. Can she kill the Crystal Maiden? No, Crystal Maiden says low. It looks like Windrunner might be going down. Oh, Windrunner Tracer's life for the Crystal Maiden, but a triple kill being picked up by bottom. If you're so far ahead in this situation, what will you get on the bottom?
First off, hold on. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. You should never trade your life for a Crystal Maiden. It's never correct.
Unless it's a carry Crystal Maiden. I mean,
oh, well, carry seems a whole different deal. I mean,
yeah.
you got to focus exclusively on her because she becomes such a powerhouse late game with a Desolator, AC, Rapier, Treads, and what's the other item you got to get on her? Oh, BKB, that's right. So when you get all of those items, she becomes such a house that you really need to focus her.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, no, I think with the bottom, let's see, what's on the other team? We got a Clockwork, a Windrunner, and a Spectre. I'd probably go Purge into Manta style. I think that's probably just it's going to be the most consistent build here. If you didn't already have treads, I might favor getting BOTs to continue to continue their dominance. BOTs are really effective at increasing your lead. They give you a lot extra map control. They allow you to put yourself in positions where you can use your advantage.
Ooh, Crystal Maiden takes 2 nukes to the face, and she's at half HP. It looks like they're going to try to nuke down the Windrunner. Windrunner goes down immediately, but not be... Oh, Clockwork's going to try and come in. No BKB finish on a Shadow Fiend yet. Does pick up the Ogre Axe. I think that's a very, very safe Shadow Fiend build. I mean, that's kind of the standard. Big people with big balls would go the Blink Dagger first, but I don't think he is in this game because they're down so much right now. 14-3 in the favor of... Sentinel,
or also people with no. I also go Blink Dagger, but I have tiny balls, so I mean sometimes just other guys also go Blink Dagger. Bad players. We saw a really sweet example of reach on heroes being quite effective there. We saw the Crystal Maiden tank 2 nukes from a very far distance away that almost killed her, and then right after that we saw the range of Earthshaker and Razor put to great use to kill the Windrunner out of nowhere. Range is one of those things that is kind of overlooked in Dota. But it's one of the primary reasons for heroes like Windrunner and stuff like that getting lots of play because they give your team a lot of reach and the ability to catch heroes from a great distance without putting yourself in any kind of situation that you might die. Danger, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Look at the Chinese guy helping him out.
Look at Arrow hitting the Clockwork. Arrow hitting the Clockwork, and they're trying to kill something, and that is where the Ranger is taking off. Very high range. It looks like the Windrunner just basically suicides for no reason.
There's no other word for that.
Maybe he was expecting teammate support. It looks like this tower is going to go down, so DTS is going to lose yet another tower. They're down 2 towers right now, and with this tower taken down, it will grant Sentinel some sort of map advantage, especially going for Roshan. Bottom leaps very aggressively, and it looks like he's going to try to pick off the Venge, but I don't think he will. But no, they're going to go for Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend smartly buys a TP scroll, or no, buys a Magic Wand and a TP scroll, and he is going to get out. Very good map awareness from the Shadow Fiend.
Finally. It actually took him a little bit longer to get out of there than I thought it would. Yeah, the thing about bottom leaping aggressively there, he has a Yasha, Agi treads, or rather treads, and 2 Wraith Bands on top of a Magic Wand, so he actually is a little more formidable than you might think. He's also level 12, whereas nobody on their team, they got a level 10 Shadow Fiend, and then they got 4, 9, 7, and 9, so there's really not a whole lot for him to fear, to be honest.
And also, you know your team is doing shit when 15 minutes in the game, you still have a Zoidberg. Just want to point that out.
Oh,
and Spectre dice. that's not that important. I just want to talk about that Zoidberg, man. It's yeah.
Wow, they
no, seriously,
actually, they do actually still just have Zoidberg. They haven't.
Yeah, you know you're doing shit.
You have a Razor,
Crystal
right?
Maiden's been dying, or Venge has been dying.
Venge has just boots and 2 GG branches. I'm actually amazed that she found boots. Like NS is what, level 4? How did he get boots? He must have bought boots very early.
Wait, he's 0 and 2 and 2 and 0. Is that 2 hero kills or 2 creep kills? No, he's got 2 creep kills. So there you go. Arrow hits the Clockwork, and that is going to be in a Clockwork. Man, that is baller. You arrow and just leap immediately before the arrow even hits. Like that's a sign of confidence right there.
That's when you know shit is going your way, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's also the 3rd tower for GoD now. So now GoD's ahead 3 towers on top of being ahead by 14 kills. This game is very quickly turning into a stomp. I believe the proper word is a stomp. Razor has his Vanguard as well as his Planeswalker Cloak. He's probably going to turn that into a hood and potentially a pipe after that.
And we had a huge nerd debate about the whole Razor item set. I mean, since the game is kind of winding down, you want to give everyone a preface, or
well,
not really?
the argument was whether or not you should get a Vanguard. Basically, the basic gist of the argument was, should you get a Vanguard on Razor? And the conclusion that we came to was, for the price of that, you could either just get like a Vite booster and a point booster, or even a mechanism. Like, there's a bunch of other items you could do for that. The damage block is mostly going to be irrelevant for the most part, and like for that amount of HP, which is really what you need most on Razor, is going to be HP and a little bit of early regen. I personally think that. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. This is taking into consideration that you're going to get Hood first, and primarily that Razor's pick against magical lineup anyways. Like, there's really no reason you're going to pick a Razor unless it's against a heavily magical lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
So with those things in mind, it's there's really no reason to skip Hood.
We see him chasing quite aggressively on the Shadow Fiend here. His phase boots are coming into pretty good use here. Unfortunately for him,
he's gonna get the kill. Yeah, there you go. No
TP
scrolls though.
He charged his laser like a broski. Plus 254 damage. No problem. No problem, yo. Hey, what are you, a Clockwork? I could probably kill. Oh no, my damage went away. Better run like a bitch.
And good Fisher from the Shaker.
Hey, look at that. He must have watched episode number 3 of the Dota Dailies in the time that this replay's been going on. He's probably streaming it on his other monitor, as most pro.
He's like, hold on, I'll tap real fast.
And I recommend, if you're not a pro player, you totally go watch it. I'm just saying, if you want to be pro, Dota Dailies is the way to go. Earthshaker, meanwhile, just going to tank a bunch of creeps. Wow, he actually turned on a salve? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Tusker.
No, that's
Seal. Okay, yeah, I was like, whoa, that's pretty boss. Just in the middle of 5 creeps, just activate a salve, no problem. Totally going to work.
And speaking of reach that you brought up earlier, which team do you think actually has the better reach?
Well,
both teams actually have really long range spells.
Yeah, we have a Clockwork and a Windrunner, and Spectre obviously has global reach, so that's pretty powerful. I would rather, I think, have the Potom Earthshaker Razor reach myself. Crystal Main also has a surprising amount of reach because of the range of Nova, and actually how far that splash actually hits, and the amount of slow it does. So I rather like Sentinel's picks, and overall gives them more reach, but I like Scourge's picks too. I think both of these teams have a pretty decent amount of reach, to be honest.
Yeah, and looks like this tower for Scourge is going to be going down. A very tanky Huskar, already Hood finished, 1200 HP. I'm going to remind me to do a creep check at 20 minutes. I'm going to try to do that from now on. Just do a creep check every 20 minutes, or not every 20, 20 minutes into every game.
Oh.
20 minutes into every game, so I guess you could do a good benchmark in terms of, hey, look at Mushi's farm in 20 minutes compared to Nebula's farm in 20 minutes. Like, there's a difference in 80 creep kills. So,
I think it's only really going to be like one bracer. Like, I think that because he probably bought a bracer because he was dying a lot more. Like, I think that's really the only difference in general.
Yeah, okay.
Most of me and Mushi's differences in playstyle. We bought a Sanjin Yasha on Potom. Yes, I love seeing legit. Terrible items.
No, that is not a terrible item.
Although if he makes 6 of them, then it becomes pretty boss. Oh, he misses a Starfall, but he misses an arrow, but it doesn't. Did you see that kill?
Regardless. Yeah, I saw that kill, and it's definitely very reminiscent of that epic bad video I made where Nebula missed both an arrow and a Starfall. So we see Clockwork goes down to a container barrage but no BKB. Oh, and it's going to bring the Potom down. Potom is going to take a C-Raise. No, but not before the right click of Razor doing a significant amount of damage. Potom is going to die to the dispersion. I'm sure of it. He should. Yeah, finally dies to dispersion. Looks like Razor is going to get another kill on the not Spectre jukes. Spectre jukes like a man. Oh my god, what a clutch TP. Barely getting out alive.
Well done, TP. I was going to say, that Potom kill, where he got the kill on the TPing Vengeful, it sure looked like Vengeful disappeared when that arrow was in air. I'm not sure, but that was a little close. So we do see Razor now having his Hood of Defiance. So he bought Phase Boots, and then he got his Vanguard's Hood of Defiance, because he does understand that you desperately need to just have survivability. I guess the Phase Boots was just a pick against the Clock, and to be honest, I kind of like that against the Clockwork. Clockwork's going to be one of the biggest problems for Razor surviving. So buying a Phase Boot seems like a pretty decent decision there.
What do you think about the SMY? I actually like SMY especially when you're having an early lead. You're pretty a strong mid game team, and you want to finish. I'm guessing GoD want to finish a game early. So I think when you're finishing a game early, I actually like SMY. It gives you good damage, gives you good
HP.
But for
so like 1,000 what do you think about that? More, you could have a Manta style. I mean, it's not that much more expensive, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
there's definitely advantages on either case.
There's a fair amount of gold, but I just really feel like Sange and Yasha is not really going to be as good as a Manta Style. I mean, yeah, Manta Style's a little more expensive, so maybe that sounds retarded, but I think that he can afford to get that extra 1,000. I mean, they're ahead 22-7, and even when he made that decision, they were probably ahead 15-3 or something like that. So I think a Manta Style is going to be better, especially since you have an early advantage. Manta Style is going to push better, isn't it? I mean, it's going to give your team a lot more effectiveness at powering down towers.
It looks like a very interesting choice on the bottom, picking another Blade of Alacrity. There's really no logical extension after this. You can go the Manta, but it not too sure whether stacking dual Yasha is good. You can go Purge, but Orbs don't stack. You can go Aga, but that doesn't do jack for you. So I have no idea what this Blade of Alacrity for. Looks like there's going to be a... Go ahead.
Think he's going to make a Manta Style. I'm going to guess he's going to make a Manta Style because the Fusel Blade here seems obviously retarded.
Right, but it makes no sense. It makes no sense. If you're gonna go Manta Style, just go to Manta Style. Skip that. What you call it?
The Sange and Yasha. Well, he might be going 6 Sange and Yashas. I mean, you got to remember, 6 Sange and Yashas. They actually knock back when you hit them. So every time you maim, they'll actually backtrack. And remember, kids, when you're playing against 6 Sanges, as they're attacking you, you got to turn and face the other way so that they'll knock you back away from them. It's very important.
The best thing that we have ever said in commentary. I mean, as we see Spectre is going to grab kill at bot lane. It's going to teleport to the top for the bottom kill.
Crystal Maiden. Oh, look at that arrow. Poor Crystal Maiden only hit the VS with Nuke about 2 times maybe. But luckily Potom was there to clean stuff up with an arrow right to the face. Oftentimes, arrow to the face going to be effective for killing heroes. Nevermore goes ahead and grabs a regen rune here. He's got his BKB, which is good, I guess. BKB's pretty boss. I think a dagger would be a little more baller, but that's okay, whatever. Sometimes you just need
Actually, I think BKB is the item that might let them give him comeback. If you look at Sentinel lineup, they got nothing on that BKB. I mean, they don't do enough physical damage to kill him outright, because Razor and Potom, yeah, they could do some physical damage, but not really. So, of course, magically, he's immune. I think BKB is, I mean, of course, it's a very standard item, but against most other team, it won't be as effective as it is against this team. Am I making sense?
In general, BKB's going to be an awesome item no matter what. But I will say this, Razor Static Cling will go through BKB, so he'll actually be able to jack damage from him anyway. And I do think they will be able to just hit him down with that. I mean, Razor steals 200. He steals a Sacred Relic, like
right. But that's over a course of like 10 seconds, which he has already ulted, and did everything. Sure. Of course, he's not going to stand there. So
yeah, I'll be honest though. Razor's amount of tank right now, he's up to he's at 1400 HP. Like he's still going to be pretty difficult for the Scourge to just kill it very quickly. And combo that with Huskar's Burning Spear. Well, I guess BKB counters the Burning Spear. I don't know. BKB might be crucial here. I mean, if he hits a pretty good ulti, it'll obviously be awesome. If he can hit a good ulti and kill, take down a couple team members, then they certainly have the power. And now he's got a Yasha, so he's going to be getting a Manta Style fairly soon. It looks like he's going to skip Dagger entirely. That will allow them to push towers pretty quickly if they're able to get to one.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Huskar right now. He does have the Blink Dagger picked up, which is... I'm actually questioning why he didn't pick it up before his Hood. Generally, you do go Hood and then Dagger, but the fact that they're winning by 13, 15 kills, I would think you should just go for as offensive items as you can. I mean, that's why I really applauded the Potom SMY. It's definitely a very offensive build. But then the Huskar, I think if he got like a cloak of Planeswalker Cloak into a dagger, he would have just got himself like 2 or 3 more kills. If you look at the other side, there's nothing they could do against a really stacked Huskar with a BKB when he just blinks straight, and he could just isolate the Shadow Fiend or the Venge or whoever he chooses to, and then just take them to town. Yeah. But unfortunately, very defensive play. I don't like that.
Yeah, the Blink Dagger early also would give them a lot more map control because they have a Potom which is fairly mobile. But Razor's not a very mobile unit. Yeah, he moves quickly, but he doesn't have anything that allows him to really be in multiple places at once. Earthshaker finally has a Blink Dagger, so that's giving him a little bit more mobility. I think Tuskar with mobility would have been better there. Nonetheless, they're able to kill Dread bottom, and there's a battle happening top.
Yeah, Crystal Maiden actually doing quite a bit of damage. Does kill off the Clockwork, and it's going to help out on the kill on the Razor. Razor quite low, but I think the Razor has to turn back. Yeah, it looks like Razor's going to go for...
Crystal Maiden's ulti just doesn't hit enough times. It only hit the Spectre like twice. Oh, Razor, you almost had him. You totally would have had Spectre if you hadn't run away.
Yeah, and actually Spectre, I mean, another reason I really don't like that late dagger on the Huskar is that because, you know, as the game progressed longer and longer, the Spectre's ult's going to be more and more frequent. Like in the earlier games, the Spectre ult is going to hold that ult for the KS.
Oh, a sweet arrow by bottom and middle is going to be able to take down the Spectre. I don't know if you saw that. That was pretty cool.
No, I didn't. So thanks for filling me in.
Yeah, he's just like Nebula's bottom. I mean, spot on here. Hitting every arrow. Except for the really easy close ones, so very Nebula-esque there.
I'm choking.
What I heard on the pub game, freaking your Shadow Fiend was awesome, and that never happens, so...
What are you talking about?
Oh, Clockwork with a sweet hook. Down. Again, a Nebula Clockwork. Look at the pro cast, like, everybody just hitting everything from a million miles away. That's very Nebula-esque.
Everything that you're doing correct is off the lessons and the tutoring of Nebula. Nebula actually gives lessons.
I do give lessons. They are on Blip TV daily or on DotaCommentaries.com. You should come watch them.
Yep.
I've been trying to get Luminous for roughly the last 3 months to stop posting on YouTube and just post on the website so that you guys have to go to the website to watch his videos. But he is too nice and too gentle a human being to do that to you. I would not be so nice. I would just totally just shut you guys down.
Yeah, Nebula's a dick.
Nebula is a dick. But secretly what you don't know is that Luminous is also a dick.
No, man. I'm the nicest, I'm the sweetest little Asian boy that you guys ever know.
So full of shit, right?
Your friendly neighborhood Asian guy that watched tentacle hentai.
Whatever, 10 hours of tentacle hentai a day and 10 hours of beating his sister for not playing piano good enough. I have heard it over TeamSpeak. I have heard him shout at his sister and then go beat the crap out of her with a cane.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I heard her be like, no! And he was just like, you missed that C note.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That totally happened. Oh, we see an Aga on Razor. Fuck yeah!
Yeah. Aga, I guess, I mean, it's a debatable item, but
dude, look at his staff. It's glowing blue. It's not debatable. It's baller.
No, I mean that only applies if you're Juggernaut. It's the shittiest item to get on Juggernaut cost effectively, but fuck, it's a fucking OP burning sword. I mean, who else?
Oh, dude, yeah, you gotta go Blink Dagger Aga. It is like the proest build on the greatest hero. That hero is the most fun to play.
Yeah, you'll be able to initiate in every fight, but do 0 damage. But anyways, looks like a big battle over the third tower. Shadow Fiend ports in, eats an arrow. That's actually really big. He's going to be really low. Oh, he's going to die after pops his ult. Yes, no, he actually survives with 2 HP. It looks like Spectre comes in with the ult. Vampire gets double kill. That's the Venge for you. It looks like it's going to be triple kill on the Venge. Venge actually picking it up. I'm not too sure how they're doing it, but 26 to 18. Scourge on the comeback. What is going on?
Oh man, Earthshaker just with fail timing. Just as Shadow Fiend popped his BKB and ulted, he blinked in and used his ulti and actually hit 0 things with his ulti. His ulti hit nothing. And if you have a team battle and Earthshaker ulti's nothing, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, and looks like with that transition, they're going to go straight into the Roshan. Spectre's going to get the Aegis. He is going to be a good way towards his Radiance. I mean, they were leading by 15 kills, but man, I think this is a comeback.
Yeah, but with the Spectre, you're kind of sitting on a ticking time bomb. I mean, the longer this game goes, the more and more it's going to become Spectre's game. I mean, even if he just like sits and just like plays very defensively and just gets random creep kills here and there and gets a little bit of farm in the woods, etc., and doesn't die, eventually he's going to be too much for them to handle, and he'll just be able to ulti and actually kill just about their whole team.
And generally, you should be very happy when you're like leading the tower kill, like 4 to 0. Like if you have 4 towers up and they have 0 towers up, you should be happy. But at this stage of point where it's mid game, you're actually losing. This exterior tower is basically just like banked up free gold for the enemy. I'm not too sure if you ever thought about it that way. That's kind of how I think about it.
Oh yeah,
in this
totally.
Kind of situation.
I mean, the thing about pushing towers is it's only useful to have all that gold until they get it back, right? It doesn't actually do you any... Like, you have to use all that free gold that you get early to buy, like, a Blink Dagger on Huskar instead of Hood, and to get a Manta Style on Potom instead of Sange and Yasha, and to get an earlier Blink Dagger on ES. Those things, you gotta do those things so that you can use that advantage that you've gained to better use, rather than buying a little bit, not ideal items, in my opinion. It looks like
And
they're
looks like
getting
Scourge
angry,
is
though, and they're going to rush middle. I think, honestly, this is one of the best things they can do. Unfortunately for them, Shadow Fiend and Spectre are just AFK pushing bottom. This is not a good trade for Sentinel.
Yeah, actually they're gonna pour it back. Very interesting choice here. As we see initiation, Shadow Fiend gets BKB. No, he does not get BKB. Earthshaker dies, and then he pops his BKB. It looks like Razor is just not tank enough. He's just basically walking without his teammate. Crystal Maiden drops the ult just to lag something, and that is DTS God getting a triple kill. That's the second turnaround triple kill for the Scourge. It's safe to say the game's over.
Yeah, I think so too. I think DTS has definitely won this game. Spectre is like they've just won too many team battles in a row. I think the Sentinel side took a little bit too long to get to the opponent's base. They had all of the early advantage they could possibly need. They were up 15-3 at one point. I mean, when you're up that much and you have these kind of early powerful pushing heroes and like Earthshaker and Potom and Razor and Huskar, like these are heroes that can push towers pretty effectively. And if Potom had actually made a Manta style instead of that Sange and Yasha, it would have lined up a little bit better. So they could have waited just a little bit longer, but had a lot more pushing power. And I think they would have at that point. You might have been able to get in before you just die to the farm of the Sentinel team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna still stand by my decision. I don't really hate the SMY that much, but I just think the Yasha extension after that is just a little bit ridiculous. If you're ever in this situation where you're winning by a lot, some other item to consider is a Diffusal Blade, like Nebula said earlier. It does grant you a lot more killing power. Or actually, I like the Monair myself. Just pushes really hard, do a lot of extra DPS. So see, Potom is DPSing that Spectre down. Spectre taking quite a bit of damage, and Arrow actually pops off a little bit early, and a smart TP from the Spectre is going to get him out. Yeah, it's always good to know what your opponent's capable of having another stun or not. And if he uses his very last stun, just TP the hell out.
Yeah, I think that was a poor play by Potom there. I think if he'd have just kept chasing, maybe tried to leap in and block a little bit, maybe give a little more time for Earthshaker to like get in a better position and blink up there to him, because he does have a blink dagger, and Fisher's got a long range, so that's a pretty fair amount of reach. You wouldn't have to get hella close to do that. Then you could probably have a better chance. But sometimes you just cast everything before you get there. What?
I do have a question to ask you. Looks like Venge is dying. No big deal. But no, actually Spectre comes in. Are they going to just rescue the Venge? Very interesting choice. What a hacks Shaco shot. That is just hacks. And it looks like Shaker's going to come in, drops all his spells, but he is going to go down. Spectre is just doing too much damage at this point. Ult from the Shadow Fiend is just decimate the entire Sentinel team. Looks like Sentinel is going to go down one by one, and that is just another kind of one-sided team fight. Crystal Maiden is going to die, and then that is going to be pretty much an end of team fight. Although Sentinel only lost 3, there's just no way they defend.
Yeah, I mean, without Earthshaker, Potom, or Huskar and Razor are not going to be able to defend their towers, especially not against the Windrunner Clock Spectre. It's like Shadow Fiend. I mean, what are they going to do? They really can't do anything. Their entire anti-push is kind of built around the Earthshaker and the Potom, and they really can't do that now. So this game is 10 days to, or some phrase that it means over.
And actually, anyways, before that big team fight broke out, I was gonna ask you. I saw a Ogre Axe on the Sacred Warrior, and of course, there is 2 logical items. Well, there's always a 6th sane choice, but the 2 logical item is the BKB or the Aga Stick. And do you feel like Sacred Warrior is one of those heroes that you don't want to get BKB on, because there's some heroes such as the Alchemist or Centaur like that. Even though BKB can help him, but you don't want to get the BKB because you want him to tank. Do you feel like the Huskar is in a similar predicament, or not really?
I don't know. I think that kind of depends game to game. I think I would personally get a BKB in this situation, but overall, is it going to be better most of the time? I'm not sure. I think that's a bit of a game to game decision. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure. I don't think I think it would be pretty decent in this game, to be honest. I would probably get one here, but I don't think it was going to matter either way. If he got an aggro or if he got a BKB, it wasn't really going to change the outcome of the game enough in either way.
Yeah, and it's actually a little bit disappointing because it looked like pretty much a stomp, and it's not like Sentinel, it's not like Scourge played exceptionally well. I just think it's mostly off the mistakes of Sentinel, to be honest. Item choices, poor placements, poor team fight, poor initiation. Kind of
we had a bit of a bad initiation in the big battle middle that really decided the game. They could have picked off a Shadow Fiend before he got his ulti off, which would have really changed that battle a lot. Unfortunately, Earthshaker was either a little bit too far away or just a little bit too slow with his blink. Either way, that really cost him big time, on top of the already discussed poor item choices in my opinion. I don't think they're all terrible item choices. I will say all of these items are okay, right? A hood on Huskar is going to be fine. Sange and Yasha on Potom, while not ideal in my opinion, is still going to be pretty decent item on her. I mean, she gets attack speed, she gets move speed, she gets damage, she gets HP, she gets a maim. Like, those are all pretty decent things to have on Potom. Those are fine. I just don't think they're the best item you could have gotten in that situation.
Yeah, it's almost as if Sentinel just kind of... You know how sometimes you're driving and you're not really awake, but you're still driving. Like it's almost like they're not thinking. Is what I'm trying to say. They're just getting the standard stuff, and these are kind of standard stuff on like hood first. You're not really thinking, and I think in a situation where Dota is a game where it's always changing, especially when you're winning in the very early stage of the game. Yeah, you gotta just think.
You can't afford to play Dota at a really high level and not be thinking, because I mean you got to think about it. The amount of variables in every game. Every game has 10 heroes. That is 10 heroes with variability. Right, that's 10 levels of variance just on that. Then you got to take into account the items they get, the situation of the game, whether or not you're the aggressor or not the aggressor. All of those things need to go into play of what your build is. There's only a couple heroes that it actually never matters what the opponents are. Ironically, one of them is Spectre. Spectre's one of those heroes where it actually just doesn't matter what your opponent has. You want to farm as much as you can, get a Vanguard, a Radiance, and a Diffusal Blade, and win. Like,
well, although. I don't know, man. He sometimes does go face boots. He sometimes does skip the Vanguard if you're farming really well. But no, I digress. That's pretty much like your point was. Some heroes, it doesn't matter really.
Yeah, some heroes very specifically trying to get an item. Like he buys the Vanguard trying to get a Radiance. That's the whole point.
Like Crystal Maiden, it's the same every game. You don't get anything. That's
well, I mean, sometimes you want to get your Desolator before your BKB, and other times you want to get your attack speed first, so you kind of get the HP before the Desolator.
I actually like Lothar's myself.
Yeah, I mean Lothar's is good. If you're gonna go the Lothar's build though, I kind of outside of the Desolator. If I'm not gonna get the Desolator build, I'll often go Mask of Madness because it's pretty sweet. I mean, lifesteal with that much intel damage is gonna be pretty powerful, especially since it's always funny to see a hero lifesteal at literally the slowest possible attack animation. Like it's so insane because. You know how lifesteal just mimics the animation that the hero already has?
Right.
Well, you get to see this lifesteal thing float through the air like just this like little bird. It's like woo, lifesteal, lifesteal. It's quite amusing.
You know what?
If you've never done it.
I just remembered that I said I'm gonna do a creep check 20 in 20 minutes.
Well, it's 38 minutes, so we're really not that behind.
Let's do a creep check.
We're only roughly twice as long into the game.
Actually, it's pretty surprising that Huskar grabbed 138 creep kill, and I mean this is just a stat, 38 minutes in the game, but this stat actually says a lot. That means he's been farming and not ganking. As Huskar, you need a gank. So
look at his kills and assists. He's 3-3-3. All right, I mean, if you're a Huskar and you're 3-3-3, think about that for a second as like an Earthshaker or a Clockwork, and that's really how you have to approach it because that hero's a hero killer. It's not a farmer. I don't think you want to farm as much as he's farmed. You want to be attacking heroes. That might be a byproduct of him like getting the hood first and not having the blink dagger. It's just a number of things that have not allowed him to do that. He's trying his best to survive, but he is mostly just going to die.
Yeah, this game is just pretty much over already. Of course, Radiance was finished, I think, 5 or 6 minutes ago. But it doesn't matter. Like, there's really no point to do a creep stats. I think Nebula and I did a pretty okay job in terms of kind of explaining why Sentinel, even though despite it had a 15 kill lead, just lost the game.
Yeah, sometimes you don't identify exactly how aggressive you need to be, and I think that was the situation here. Maybe they did identify that they were aggressive, and that's maybe why Potom went for the Sange and Yasha, etc. But they didn't do it, right? They didn't
play aggressive.
Yeah, they didn't push quite enough. They didn't gather as 5 heroes and go like look at the top second tier tower is still up. At 40 minutes, if you're the aggressor, that shit needs to be down. That cannot.
There was also 0 Roche attempt. Also, if you're aggressive, if you don't want to push, just go for Roshan. You could just force team fights, or you get a Aegis. I mean, either case, if you're
a little worried about trying to get into that Rax, then just go for the Roshan. That's totally acceptable. It's totally okay.
So, I mean, of course, the same spoiler goes out. Even though we're talking like we're top shit, we do realize that these players are a lot better. Of course, we don't know what's going through the Sentinels players' mind. So maybe maybe in their head everything's working out logically. I'm failing to see that. So that's just me.
Yeah, I disagree a little bit with some of that.
You just think they're that noob. So.
I think GoD is well, I'll take him on. Let's do it. Dota commentaries versus GoD. Let's do it. I'm for it. It'll be a team of me, Luminous, and 3 pubs.
3 pubs and
we did Ian. I forgot about Ian.
Ian's actually pretty good. No, I take that. I take that back. No, Ian's cool. Ian's cool.
Ian is so much fun to play Dota with that it doesn't matter. He is awesome. He is a roaming beast. He loves to roam like nobody's business, and that makes for entertaining games.
I love that part where you guys sandwich a PL with dust and like Ravage and Gush, and he didn't die.
Yeah, it's important to note that I never play heroes that coordinate with any other heroes. Like, I don't play what you would call what do you call them? What do you call them? Team heroes. I don't play teamwork heroes. That's not really my thing.
What Nebula's saying is that he doesn't play Dota.
I don't play with any kind of teamwork. I'm very much the AFK farmer, if you will. And
except he has like 3 creeps per minute. So
you're so full of shit.
All right,
I'm such a better laster than you. It's not even
let's
close.
Get back to this game. Do we have anything rest to say before we just kind of cut this off? Or
yes, go visit DotaCommentaries.com and look at all of the amazing content that we post daily. We have so much content every day that you're missing out on, and if you're just watching Illuminous's YouTube channel, that we have a lot of other ways to meet your Dota needs, if you will.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you're watching a Luminous commentary, and that's like top shit. But yeah, you are still missing out a lot because that's okay. You know what? I'm never arrogant. I be arrogant once, so you laugh at me. But anyways,
that's because you're never.
Yeah, you are actually missing out a lot because Nebula's basically been putting out daily content, and then of course, we have new commentators. We have Doc. We have Cold Blooded, and it's just. We have content, like 2 new commentators out every single day. So you're saying, oh, Luminous, you should put out more content. Man, there's content all over DotaCommentators.com. So just come check us out.
Alrighty, I think that's going to wrap this up.
I think that's it. So yeah, same thing. Leave some interesting. I mean, we set a lot of theorycraft this game. So again, leave those kind of interesting and creative responses. I will just kind of mew over them, and then just theorycraft with you guys in a little bit. And I think that's it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
I do want to say real fast. Yeah, one important part about content and like theory crafting and listening to other people's opinions and ideas, it's important to note that even if you are better than somebody and you know a lot more than them, there's a good chance that if you two converse about a topic for like an hour, you will learn something from that person. Because the key to learning is getting as many ideas from as many sources as you possibly can and sifting through them and determining the ones that you actually like. So, just throw that in there.
Yep, totally agree.
Comment so we can read and learn.
All right, well said, Nebula, and I think that's fine. That's for legit. Finally, that's it for us, and I hope you guys definitely enjoyed this kind of commentary, but it was fun. It was fun, and for next time, this is Nebula and Luminous signing off. GG, guys. There wasn't much comment left for the game between Navi and NYM, which makes sense because the game was quite action-packed, so I guess most people don't really care about the strategy. There is one comment that is left on YouTube, but it wasn't specifically directed towards the game, but then I suppose it was interesting enough to bring it up. It's left by I Love Nada, and he said, Lumi, half a year ago we used to see every team choose Kunga as one of their team's core heroes. Nowadays we don't even see that hero. Why do you think so? Such and such. And I think the generic response would be Dota is a very trend heavy game. We see heroes going in and out of trends, and of course the heroes themselves are good, but not really justified by just a goodness factor. It's really a trendy game. For example, a while back we would see TIE Hunter and like Doombringer being auto banned in every single game. Nowadays, teams don't really care about it anymore. You could argue that there's more pressing heroes to care about, but really, for example, in TIE Hunter, he never really got the nerf. Like, he's still good, but teams are not picking it. I guess mostly because of every other team is not picking it, and also they feel that they really need other heroes. They really feel like, oh, I need a Shaker instead of the TIE Hunter. So in that regard, I think Kunga falls in the same category. People feel that they prefer other heroes. I guess also the range factor, the range versus melee, I've been talking about in many of my commentaries. And then the last thing I want to attribute to this is I feel like most competitive teams are pretty slow in terms of the reaction to nerfs. So for example, Ice Rock would have to nerf a hero in continuous patches, and then the team won't drop the hero immediately. They will still think that hero is good. Instead, they will drop the heroes a couple of patches after that. And it almost feels like Ice Rock have to over nerf a hero for people to stop playing it. You could make the argument for Doom here. Doom's been nerfed every single patch, but only teams are only stop picking him now. And personally, I think he's a little bit of I think he's overrated in many cases. And in the same case at Kunkka, he's been receiving nerf since 6.60, I believe, and then up to 6.5, maybe even to 6.6. Yeah, he's been being nerfed, but then teams only stop picking him around 6.8, I believe, or maybe 6.9. So in that essence, I feel like teams are slow in the reaction, and it's finally catching up in terms of, oh, he was really nerfed, and then there are heroes now better than him. So I think, yeah, that could be applied to many, many Dota heroes as well. So that's kind of my personal explanation on it. I'm not too sure whether you guys agree or not, but there you go.